and he has no room to do so. And that results in him crashing into the side of the box. He's squinting at me mad because he knows that I'm talking about him.
All right.
Something.
So we were going to talk about Daggerheart tonight. Oh, you know what I can probably do for you guys? Let me see. Let me see. Voice and video. Video. Nope, we're not going to do the face cam.
Successfully made the jump. He knows that he is not on a solid surface and is now immediately seeking egress. He shall find none. Nope, no. Hey, off. Just kidding. He's not seeking egress. He's seeking a way to open the box, which is full of Nora's birthday present.
All right, so hopefully it'll get the right camera up. Otherwise, damn, I really thought that was gonna work. See if I can turn it off and then try to fix it. I would just love for you guys to like see. Because the computer's recognizing it.
I may not have super strong visuals because I just have you guys in my AirPods and I'm doing tasks, at least in the short term.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think Kenna is in the shower.
For sure.
He can hear us.
Yeah,
So
there's
we
a
can
camera
kind
up
of
for you
play
guys, for sure. I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
as you can see, those of you who might be watching from elsewhere, I'm not at the normal table. I'm at my computer where we record and stream. That's actually my DM screen right behind me in the camera. But on chat, we have Jeremy and Kenna, Sermia and Mort, respectively. But tonight, it's not really the most important thing for this, because it's more going to be the other visuals that I'm going to have on the screen. But we're going to kind of be jumping into the Critical Role RPG Darrington Press. Taryon Darrington. If you're following the cartoon, he'll be coming up in the season coming out, I think, at the start of next year. But this is like their kind of premier RPG, and I'm pretty excited about it. I know Jeremy had some... at least some periphery knowledge as well as me, and I know, Kenna, you just got it, so I'm just kind of... We haven't done something like this, and I think we should do it more often. Just, holy fuck, I'm peaking like a motherfucker right now.
That's because you're so peak.
Oh, stop it, you. Oh, there we go. That's so much easier to navigate. But music's still the music we always play for Monument Studios. Just want to throw a shout out to them because they're awesome. But I guess without further ado, I'll jump right into this. I've got the little Daggerheart logo on the screen. I really like it. I think it's really clean. It's immediately recognizable. In a weird way, it really, really reminds me of the D&D symbol. Like, it reminds me of the D&D ampersand.
Right.
Let me see if I can take actually that one away. Like, just the dagger with the it's easy to recognize. As soon as you see it, you're gonna be like, I just realized it's a D12 on the end of the dagger. All right, that's actually pretty smart. I like that. Okay, so I've got, this is big and bright and it's way different than what's been on here, but this is the cover art for a Daggerheart. It's pretty cool, but it's gonna be the background in case anybody's wondering. This is the front and back cover. Let me see. I have the Daggerheart website up. And this is what I wanted to talk about, especially for anybody following along with us, as well as Jeremy.
Hey.
I know, Kenna, you have the physical books as well, but I found out while I was sniffing around today that actually... Let me see if I can... Here we go. Yes. Alright, perfect. So, on the Daggerheart website, which I literally just typed in Daggerheart in Google and it takes you right to their website, this is just the front page. You know, adventure begins. What is Daggerheart? It's a nice little breakdown. It's really nice. It's really clean. But for resources, for anybody that wants to, oh look, it's right there, and you can look at news and community. I don't even know what's in the Void. That's honestly probably. Let's see. Let's look together. The Void, an exclusive playtest hub where fans of Daggerheart can explore in-development content before. How do I join this? Okay. Oh my god, I didn't know this existed! Oh shit, we're not even gonna get into this right now. That's so... Oh my god. Oh, motherfucker. Holy shit. Okay, that is... Wow, that's a whole... We're just gonna go to resources right now. This blew me away. Just everything that they have on here. But it really speaks to, if you know kind of like how the whole Critical Role thing started... You can see, like, the essence of their show is kind of in this, which I really appreciated. Like, there's the getting started. This tells you everything that you need. You can get a quick start adventure. I'm probably going to write my own, but, you know, you can join their Discord and stuff on there. You can subscribe for updates, which I'm probably going to do now. Shit, they're going to be, like, monsters. They have transformation cards in the Void. Again, we're not going to get to that. I'm getting ahead of myself.
But TJ, what if somebody is unfamiliar with Critical Role?
You don't need to watch it. You don't need to have watched Critical Role. It's just so... I guess, here's... Real quick. If you do not know who Critical Role is, first of all, I'm very touched that you are watching us and not know who Critical Role is.
Very small subsection of people, and he is also in this call right now.
Right?
It's me.
It's Jeremy. They've got a show on... Yeah, these guys are... They are the movers and shakers. They're the reason that so many live plays happen, in my personal opinion. Their current season... they've got a new DM for the first time in 4 years. My favorite Dungeon Master. Oh, this is their whole website. Oh, this is their fandom. I should just go to critroll.com. God, I love these guys. So they've actually, if you're on Amazon Prime and you've watched The Legend of Vox Machina, or premiering tomorrow, the first 3 episodes of The Mighty Nine as well, sponsor me, Critical Role. But they've got some cool shit on their website. They're really good about giving back, and they're always doing things with different charities and helping people. Yeah, they were a partner with Ad Hoc for Dispatch. They were like the main people that they worked with. They're the voices of all the people in Dispatch. Brennan Lee Mulligan is the new DM. Yeah, there's so many resources and things you can buy on here. Things that they got their... you don't need to worry about all the shit on their website, but basically they started a heavily homebrewed Pathfinder first edition session for Liam O'Brien for his birthday, just for fun. And they were having and it was a bunch of people who were professional voice actors. And so, thank you, Quantum. They decided that after they had played for a while, they're like, wow, this is a lot of fucking fun. Let's make a podcast. Everybody's making a podcast right now. And this was 10 or 11 years ago. I found out, I thought I had started listening to them months after the fact, because I'm like, I really want to do a live play. I've never found a live play that I like, and my friends were like, you should check out Critical Role, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then once I listened to it, I realized I knew all the voice actors that were in there, not necessarily by name, but I recognized most, right, if not all of the voices.
You know Laura Bailey's voice.
Oh, dude. Well, yeah, it was Bailey's. Like I knew Laura Bailey, I knew Travis Willingham, I knew Matthew Mercer, but I didn't know who they were. As soon as I heard them, I'm like, oh, that's Kid Trunks. Oh, that's Thor. Oh, that's name the fucking anime or video game for Matt Mercer. You know, it was like, even
Who
guys
would
like
win in a
Sam
fight
Riegel,
between
I'm like,
kids
oh, you
and
did a lot of
people?
Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff back in the day. So it's like, they've all been there. I think Taliesin is mostly, video games, if I'm like, he's done anime but not as like featured stuff. He does mostly video games from what I understand, but they all have connections. And like Marisha was a big streamer and she did some voices and stuff at the time, so it was like they all were in the industry, but they didn't go out to make it like a thing. They were like, yeah, we'll make a podcast and see who listens. If you go back and watch their first streams, they start at like level 7 in the middle of a fucking adventure, and it's like, it sounds worse than ours does. Like it's
Right.
you know, but they you know, they stuck to it, and they just, you know, I at this point it's so much more produced and everything, but you know, it's just cool to see it kind of grow. And Critical Role eventually, because once they shifted to a podcast, they moved it to 5th edition because it was the fashion at the time. But it was kind of like the new system out that was really popular, so they switched from Pathfinder 1E to 5E, which is why Percy's Gunslinger is a homebrewed thing, because they had to basically, what do you call it? When you... Not transfer. Convert, thank you. You'd convert the... They converted the Pathfinder 1E Gunslinger to 5E, and I think they did a fucking great job. But, as someone who has dealt with problematic gunslingers in Pathfinder 1E games, they did a great job. He's exactly that. It felt like I was listening to a Pathfinder 1E gunslinger. But something that they've always maintained from the beginning is that all of their sessions, all of Matt Mercer's campaigns, and Brendan Lee Mulligan's now by extension, and when you listen to Brendan Lee Mulligan in Dimension 20, this follows as well, they are by no means rules lawyers. They do not play fast and loose. I won't say that. They're not laissez-faire DMs. There was a time where I was laissez-faire, and it really bit me in the ass. And part of our horror campaign is really me reining myself in and being like, well, you know, some rules you gotta like. Some rules are there for a reason, you know. But they've always been upfront that their campaigns are heavily homebrewed. He has all their monsters are homebrewed. I've always been upfront about that with us at our table. Like, hey, I don't care what bestiaries you look at, because sometimes I'll just wholesale lift half of one monster and plop it on half of another monster for a mini that I have that I think the two sort of mechanical features work. It just doesn't. The skin's different. You know, and Matt Mercer you can tell, like, he's just a huge nerd, and this is like something that he really enjoys doing. But okay, I'm not gonna use Gemini. Thank you though. But that's who Critical Role is. But
what about Brock?
So they, with their what do you call it? With their animation, like, of their own campaign, a lot of people were interested and they started listening, so they had a Kickstarter for their own TTRPG, and that's what Daggerheart is. That's sort of like the culmination, and that's why I say, just having listened to them, from what I found out was the first episode, I was only like 2 months behind from when they started. And just you can see the homebrew things and sort of like stuff that they themselves have sort of like struggled with at the table. Like, I don't really like that. Or it's one of those things where they just homebrewed it so much that it's like, yeah, we're just going to put this in our own game instead of dealing with 30,000 fucking comments of why do you do that. And obviously their current campaign is still 5th edition. That's still or 2024 rules. It's still the thing. It's still the fashion. But everybody that I've seen give like a little honest review of this has said it feels good. It feels fun. And like, I know, I don't know if you got to look at it too much, Kenna, in terms of, this is really cool with the safety toolkit, by the way. It has all of those on there, like the X cards and lines and veils, and it explains them, and you can go to the method. I liked CATS, concept, aim, tone, and safety, but that's usually just like how I design my campaigns anyway. You Yeah, this is exactly what we do. But they just break down how to do it for your campaigns. These are all just like, you'd find these on a regular like TTRPG blog, but they have them here as well because again, I feel that they are, for the most part, they're getting better. Everybody's got criticisms that are fair, for anybody who's in the limelight, but I feel that they're getting better at recognizing the true reach and influence that they kind of have to affect people's thoughts in the community, and in that they're offering these resources for free that people might not know where to find otherwise, you know? Alright, let's jump into these fucking things. Kenna, had you gotten a chance to look at the, what do you call it? We went over the initiative, I guess not even, maybe that's why I'm having so much trouble, because it doesn't fucking exist in this system. The non-initiative. Oh, also,
I think she may still be showering.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought she was just hanging out and listen. Hey, dude, I fucking do that all the time. Doesn't matter. Then they can just hear this as I'm about to go into it. But also on the resources, this is. I was gonna say you're good. You're good. I'm about to go over it with Jeremy. And just feel free to chime in whenever you want.
I haven't had a chance to dive too deep in it yet.
Sweet, we're about to.
But I've like opened the book and looked at all the pretty art.
Oh, the artwork's so nice. That if you're gonna buy, like, I used to be one of those kids who would buy RPG books just for the art. I kind of still am. The art's so good, and they will never use AI. Oh my god, these people will never use AI. No, that's part of what I love about him. Focus on me. Am I just moving too fast? But this is also something that I. Okay, it's on auto.
Hi, Maggie.
Okay, I think I was just too close. So if you're on the downloads part of the Daggerheart website, they've got literally everything you need to play is right here. Let me see. Character sheets and guides. Let's just click on that real quick. That's okay. So the with the what do you call it? Classes and all this stuff and print-offs, they have like sheets for each class, all the stuff you can do, things to mark off, and you're going to be like, well, don't I have like freedom with what I can do? Yes, and we're going to get to that. Because it's going to look like, well, it still looks like everybody can do the same thing. I mean, kinda, in a way. This whole system is so much more narrative driven. I know that D&D claims that like roleplay is one of their pillars, but it's like, it's kind of like a pillar for like the entryway. It's a war game at heart, and while this does indeed have, it's so good for TTRPG beginners. That's actually something else that you bring up, Quantum, is this is a really good system for TTRPG beginners, and I only say that in the sense of the barrier to entry feels lower, and you're going to see that, but also I've personally heard, not personally like person to person, but I've watched videos of people saying, I'm a regular 5e player, but I was able to bring my sister and her friend on, or my brother and his friend, or so-and-so and so-and-so on, who have never played before, because making your character only takes 20 minutes. Because the sort of flow is a lot less number-based and so much more narrative-driven, which might feel hard for people who aren't really, like, character, you know, like, I say to you, my good villain, you know, it's like, you don't have to be that way, and you'll see kind of through the way the mechanics are phrased, you can tell that Matt Mercer and Taliesin Jaffe, and I'm sure plenty of other people at the table, are Magic the Gathering nerds, and you'll kind of see what I mean. by that. Jeremy, have you had a chance to like, are you familiar with anything in the system?
Literally on my drive home, I watched some very kind of cursory. They did a series on YouTube called "Get Your
Oh,
Sheet Together"
perfect.
about how to make characters and kind of lightly explain some mechanics of the game. So I was watching some of those on my not watching, but listening to some of those on my drive home.
For sure.
So
So
I have a very cursory
honestly,
knowledge.
but when you think about it, that's more than a lot of people have. Period. Right now, some people have been like, "What's Daggerheart?" Or "I just heard about that. What is it?" So, it's. I just went to the other sheets option in the resources for my folks who aren't seeing. Oh man, the errata is always great on websites. If you play any TTRPGs and they have a website, always check if they have an errata on the website. That's where they put rules updates that aren't expansive enough to warrant a complete reprint edition of the book. So erratas where a lot of like changes in spells or how weird mechanics that people don't use often because something always felt off often lie. But in the other sheets, they have things like the GM guide, which is very simple, like a sheet that's just things that the GM can do, and we'll get to that. Character creation, they have it in 9 simple steps. They even have ways how to name your stuff, how to do experience. They have a step-by-step 2-page guide of 1 page on how to play, like how to execute things as your character. Another thing that are examples of what you can do on your short rest, what you can do on your long rest. All that's on 1 piece of paper. These are all like quick reference sheets you can print off their website that they just offer for free. I'm not paying anything. This is shit I'm just looking at right now. If I had a printer on my computer, I could do Control P and have these, but they're in my this. But I'm probably gonna print them off in here too to have for like the more like used ones so that we don't destroy this very pretty book. It's got a character sheet sidecar in this additional sheets thing that's just like where on your sheet you can find things. It'll say like slide the sheet to the left of your character sheet, slide the sheet to the right. If you've played things like actually I got an example of that right over here. By the way, gang, I'd love to do Edge of the Empire, because it's more about, like, skullduggery, but I'd also be up for Age of Rebellion, which is set in, like, Rebels Against the Empire. Literally, both can be played with each other. It's more about setting, and they have slightly different character skills to choose from, but they're both a lot of fun. But in these, it offers us some character sheets to look at. Here we go. Little character sheet. But if you look, it has these little, like, so, like, this is 1 character sheet, and then they have these little sidecars that tell me, like, this is what this part of your character sheet does, because it's the starter set. But that's what they mean by these sidecars here. You print off the sheet, 1 for each side of your paper, put them on the side. Now you can, like, kind of quick learn how to reference your page. It also helps give you a regular reference for the tower cameo. I put it back there on a reason. It also gives you a nice reference, because I know, especially at our table, and this is the card game player in me coming out, I'm a big proponent for what is the specific wording. You know, it's not, well, what does it kind of say? What is the specific wording? Because it's very important how that works. There's just a page that's all the equipment, what you can do, any burdens, like if it's one-handed, two-handed, any features, like is it cumbersome, is it quick, is it startling? Oh, a whip. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I like that. I might just
I also find whips startling. You see, it's funny because nay, I shan't.
And then once you get to the other print-offs, it'll tell you, it's just things for like ancestry and then domains, and domains we'll get to. It's pretty much like kind of what classes are, kind of. Multi-class sheet, again, sidebar, put it on the side, things for notes, multi-class features, things like that. If you pick wizard, warrior, sorceries, all that all this bullshit. We'll get to this. This will all make sense. But I just wanted you guys to know literally every resource you could possibly need to play this game, they give to us. If you look at print and play cards, so the nice cool thing about Daggerheart, if you buy the game, I don't know if it's the deluxe or just the base game, but it comes with cards for all of the classes and their features, and I've got mine separated into colored sleeves because I'm a big fucking nerd. But they're all like designed obviously to look different. You don't have to like search for each one by reading them. They're color coded and they've got symbols on them to kind of quick reference what you need. But hey, look at this. You don't want to spend an extra 40, 50, however many fucking dollars it is to get like all of the special cards in the set, or you just want to have more than one set of cards at the table, because heaven forbid you have 2 rangers at the table and they have to split the use of cards. No, you can literally print every card that they have in the game right there off their website for free for them. They've got campaign framing materials. Guys, this is like a dungeon master's dream. This probably isn't even, I haven't even jumped into some of these. Yeah, look, they've got like full maps that you can use for their setting. Just things, again, that you can share with your table so that you can just get up and go with the adventure and you don't have to worry about all of these other things. Like, this is Matt Mercer's Dungeon Master Notebook, just like opening up. They got blank maps that you can fill in names and stuff on. Let me see. The one thing that they got like a whole section that's just their setting, like what is it, the Forgotten Realms for 5e, Greyhawk for like 2e. Sablewood is the name of Matt Mercer's world. It's very dark fae, not necessarily post-apocalyptic, but very Dark Souls, Dark Fairy, which is just, it's Matt Mercer. But it's, you know, I don't want to use the word grimdark because it's not necessarily that, but it does have the, I didn't even say edginess. It just has the, I feel like there's urgency in this system more. My favorite thing about this whole page, and I'm not even going to look at the errata or the Age of Umbra, is the homebrew kit. This is amazing. You can download, they talk about how to homebrew stuff, key terms, like, hey, just cut paste this, use what you need to do. If you're going to design an ancestry, which is what they call like elf, human, dwarf, you know, whatever it might be, think about how you want to name them, think about what kind of art. If you want to do features, they talk about communities, which is like your background. And then domains are like character building skills, and we'll get to that. And it talks about how to design all of that stuff, how to create classes, subclasses, how to make a creature or adversaries, environments, which have their own stat block in this. It's really cool. Things, how to do your campaign frames and stuff. It's so good. And if you, let me see. Oh, there's something else on here, and I can't remember exactly where it is right now. Oh God, where is it? Oh, dude. If you click on Homebrew Kit in Resources, first of all, if you go to the Daggerheart system reference document, it's the whole rulebook. It's everything you need to play the game. You can find that in the Homebrew Kit Daggerheart system reference document. You probably just type in Daggerheart SRD, and you'd probably pull it up on Google too. But yeah, it's all the rulebook sans the pretty artwork, which, I mean, I'm not willing to make that sacrifice. But as a reference document, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's all the numbers.
So how does a game like this appeal to the people who like the crunch of 5e? Because this is only hearsay. I've only talked to people about it because I've never played 4 myself. But when they made 4 after 3.5, a lot of people were disappointed and just continued to play 3.5 because D&D 4 was like, there was no crunch to it. It was all narrative, and there was like more or less nothing to do.
So, and I
other
think,
than like talk out a story.
And I think, so I guess that's the thing. Since we got our players here, let's just dive into the classes, as it were. Mm-hmm.
This is typically where I start my character creation process.
Chapter 1,
Personally,
preparing your adventure. Let's see. Core mechanics, 89. Oh, jeez, oh, Pete's.
What were you saying, Mort? Jeremy?
I'm so sorry.
Same thing. No, you're good. Like that's typically where my character creation process starts. Is I find a class that I like first, and that usually informs my narrative choices. I'm like typically asking myself, what would drive a person to do this? Like, what type of circumstances would they have had to grow up in? What types of things would have changed their... Get out of the dryer, buddy. What? My cat just got in the dryer. What makes a man want to punch very hard, very fast? You know?
A cat.
Yes. In this case.
No, it was my dog this morning.
And
Man.
that would
Miles
be,
was
and
pulling
then,
so
and something
bad.
like
I'm
that,
like,
even something silly like that, like a joke like that. I'm like, cool. Who was the evil tabaxi in this person's life that made him want to punch, and why do they make him want to punch?
let me see. Where is... So that's the homebrew kit. Hold on, I want to show you...
That's definitely how I approach it too. I look for classes that I like or multi-classes that I like, and then the character kind of evolves from there. And sometimes like I'll go into session 1 not even knowing like anything other than a name.
Oh, dude,
And
for
sometimes
sure.
back 1 too.
For sure,
But
kinda.
like I like based on what I've heard from D&D 4, it's just like something that would be very hard for me to get into.
Well, that's what we're going to
'Cause
try and
I-
find out. So I guess here's the thing. Let me go over the classes, and you guys let me know which one or two you want to kind of we can dive into here, and then I'll go over kind of how your character will be chosen and will or built kind of, and then we'll kind of see where this expansion lies. So the class options right now, and they've also got the Blood Hunter that's on the website. We can look at that. But there's the Bard.
Let's do one of the weird ones.
The weird ones? I feel
Yeah,
like the Bard's always going to fall into that, but let's see. Here's their
By
classes.
weird, I mean, like it's not in D&D.
They
I
have
forget what it's called. It's just an S.
there is a Seraph. That's their cleric. It's kind of like a paladin cleric shoop. So we can look at the Seraph, very Sermia coded. And then let's see. So we're getting a let's see. There's the Seraph. They've also got the Bard, Druid, Guardian, which is I guess that's also a paladin. What? Ranger, Warrior, Wizard, Seraph, Sorcerer, and Rogue. So I guess if we're gonna do the Seraph, and this is just a me thing. Jeremy, do you have any class thoughts that you'd like to look at?
Specifically, the one, a lot of it is I'm thinking about how can I adapt characters that I already have, and probably one of the ones that's higher on my list that I would like to adapt is my pirate character. So I know there's not a swashbuckler, so I would be interested in learning more about rogues in this game.
Okay, and so in each class, there's 2 subclasses that they offer. That's kind of, again, how you flavor the mechanics of your character. So for the rogue, they're actually right next to each other. The rogue is the subclasses of the Nightwalker or the Syndicate. The Nightwalker, if you want to manipulate shadows to maneuver through the environment, or the Syndicate, if you want to have a web of contacts everywhere you go. The Seraph subclasses are Divine Wielder or Winged Sentinel. To play the Winged Sentinel, if you want to play Flight and strike crushing blows from the sky, or if you want to play the Divine Wielder, if you want to dominate the battlefield with a legendary weapon. So, with your character sheet, once you've chosen your class, grab the corresponding character sheet and character guide, then decide on a subclass and take the subclass's foundation card. We'll just grab the foundation cards. Just say Rogue. Seraph was yellow. Okay. Oh! You pick your subclass right at the beginning. Oh, that's right. Okay. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. So each class, and we'll start with Seraph, has kind of like an ability that kind of like keeps growing as you grow. And you get 3 for each class. So you get a foundation one for Winged Sentinel and Divine Wielder, and then you'll get more as you level up with that. But don't worry about that right now. Record your level. We'll start at level 1. Record character details. Da-da-da. You get a class feature. Again, we'll get to that. Choose your heritage. Choose your heritage. Sorry. The aspect of your character.
Breaking all of the targets.
Yeah. So the ancestries, and they actually got quite a few, and I'm pretty happy with the base ones they have. There's we'll go through them, but there's the Clank, which are like robot people, Dracona, which are dragon folk, dwarf, elf, fairies, fauns, Firbolg, Fungril, which are mushroom people, Galapa, which are tortoises, giants, goblin, halflings, human, and furnace, which are tieflings, Katari, which are cats, orcs, ribbits, which are frogs, and Simia, which are monkeys. And we'll get to more of that bullshit in a second. Okay, let me see here. The downloads.
I love me a basic humanoid.
They are. I do love them. All right. So then after you pick your heritage, you pick your community. That's your background. Your character's community is influenced by its physical location, values, and goals. Each community comes with a feature that can utilize during the game. Take the card of one of the following communities, then write its name in the heritage field of your character sheet. Again, you can print out the cards. You can grab them. Let me see. I've got all of that bullshit is in. So I've got all of the races and community cards here. So let's see. Community cards are right here, and then we got a good old-fashioned human. Anything speaking to you, Mort, or are you feeling a human too, Jeremy?
I need to look at the heritage. Is it the ancestries? Yeah, let me look at these again.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm getting them.
There's
pulled up. I just
heritage.
finished on my
Yeah, sorry.
task.
Heritage is Daggerheart. But there's let's see. There's the Clank, Dracona, Dwarf, Elf, Fairy, Fauns, Firbolg, which are kind of like cow fairies, Galapa, Giants, Goblins.
I gotta build up.
Let me see.
We could get into like homebrewing stuff, but
There's yeah, there's a whole they've got literally like a card maker thing on their app that you can make like a custom card for.
yeah. My original idea for the pirate character was he's supposed to be a rat folk. Maybe I'll just do something fully different. So give me a moment. You can roll through some stuff with Kenna, and I will just be exploring and reading.
So with humans, every heritage comes with features. They are easily recognized by their dexterous hands, rounded ears, and bodies built for endurance. They get the abilities High Stamina. You gain an additional stress slot at character creation. We'll get to that in a second. And Adaptability. When you fail a roll that utilizes one of your experiences, you can mark a stress to reroll. Kind of gives you, it's like the halfling luck reroll. And then in terms of your community, there is Highborn, Loreborn, Orderborn, Ridgeborn, Seaborn, Slyborn, Underborn, Wanderborn, and Wildborn. Let's see.
Are these based off of ancestry, or are they?
They're kind of like all their own. I'm sure there's some that overlap. So like Wildborn, being part of a Wildborn community means you lived deep within the forest. Wanderborn means you've lived as a nomad, foregoing a permanent home and experiencing a wide variety of cultures. Underborn means you're part of an underborn, or you're part of a subterranean society. Slyborns come from a group that operates outside the law, including all manners of criminals, grifters, and con artists. Seaborn means you live on or near a large body of water. Ridgeborn
So
means... Say what?
every ancestry gets access to all of the communities.
So Ancestry gives you... So like, let's say we were going to make a Sirmia, and her ancestry's Highborn, maybe, or maybe she's Slyborn. But if she was Highborn, she would get to basically... This is something that's sort of like... It's a passive feature that always is in effect. So if you're Highborn, you have... You're gonna hate this. If you're Highborn, you have the character trait of privilege. You have advantage on rolls to consort with nobles, negotiate prices, or leverage your reputation to get what you want. Which, honestly, Sirmia uses quite often.
Yeah.
Let's say, Mort, I feel like you would be Loreborn because you're a cleric. I could be wrong, though.
Or communities.
Yeah, it says... I guess I'm just... Or you picked a rogue, so you might be Slyborn.
I'm actually debating slipping away from rogue, but if we're looking at Mort...
No, we don't have to do Mort. Let's do something else. We don't have to do rogue. What are you thinking of slipping away from? Good word choice.
I'm curious, because this is how I categorize things in my brain.
Well, I mean, we could just
There's
look at rogue.
Orderborn.
I'm not married to anything. I'm just curious.
Okay. I'll look at Orderborn then for Mort. And Mort, we'll make you an Orderborn.
Well, by the way, hold on. Let me, before you get too far into making Mort, I've pivoted.
Oh, no, you don't have to make Mort.
Something.
I was just saying what you were saying. I was going to throw out a race at you. We were going to... if you have an idea, go for it. I'd love to just build out a character.
Here's something that I've never played. I'm gonna do two things that I've never done before.
Attaboy.
I'm gonna do a Clank Ranger.
I was hoping someone would pick Clank.
I want to do a Clank Ranger. I want to make a Bastion. I want to make Android 16. I want to make a robot that has an animal companion.
We love an animal companion.
Oh man, I forgot. This is a game designed by people who have played 5e forever. The Rangers are actually kind of fucking broken. All right. So an Orderborn Clank Ranger.
I don't know about Orderborn. Orderborn, I'm not set on.
Do you have him in front of you?
I'm looking through him right now.
Oh, okay, for sure. I just didn't want to go into Pokedex mode.
You could do it if you did the whole thing as a poke rap, if you wanted.
Don't make me show how white I am, please.
I am between 3.
Okay.
Ridgeborn,
Okay.
Wanderborn, and Wildborn.
All great choices.
Mostly, honestly, Ridgeborn is very low on the list. I just like the idea of a cool rock climb robot, or perhaps that had some role in what he was originally created for, but now just kind of doesn't so much stay in that environment.
That's fun.
What's that movie?
But I almost want to do Wanderball.
What's that movie where the robot is like the service robot gets like falls out of a plane and lands on an island?
Oh, the Wild Robot.
Yeah. Is that what you want to be? You want to be the wild robot?
I haven't seen the Wild Robot, but
It's
maybe.
cute ass. You should watch it by yourself at midnight.
Oh. I feel like I shouldn't do that.
All right. So I'll go with. Did you want Wanderborn, or is that what you said you were leaning towards, or did you want
Yeah, I'll do Wanderborn, because
Okay.
in my head, this robot has been traveling for a while.
All right. So a Clank gets these two features. A purposeful
Sounds so
design.
racist.
You get to design who made you
Clank.
and for what purpose. At character creation, choose one of your experiences that best aligns with this purpose and gain a permanent +1 bonus to it. So I think your experiences are your... Let me see here. Damage, health, active weapons. Oh, I think those are feats. And efficient is your other thing. When you take a short rest, you can choose a long rest move instead of a short rest move. There's basically you can choose what things you do on a short or long rest. And then for Wanderborn, your passive ability is Nomadic Pack. Add Nomadic Pack to your inventory. Once per session, you can spend a Hope, which is another resource, to reach into this pack and pull out a mundane item that's useful to your situation. Super useful. Work with the GM to figure out what item you take out.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, and then the Ranger subclass options are Beastbound, where you get an animal companion, or Wayfinder, which is kind of more like the stalker hunt animals thing. You said animal companion, right?
Yeah, definitely Beastbound. I was thinking that.
Cool. So that foundational ability is... Let me see. Spellcast
Companion.
trait agility. So you get... We'll figure out what that is. Companion. You have an animal companion of your choice at the GM's discretion, and they stay by your side until you tell them otherwise. Take the Ranger Companion sheet. There's another subsheet we can print off. When you level up your character, choose a level up option for your companion from this sheet as well, so they can kind of grow with you instead of just being like a useless puppy dog. We will put...
I'm trying to decide what my animal companion should even be.
Well, you're a Wanderborn, so really it could be anything. I'd argue
No,
it could be
that's
any
the ju-
animal
that's the-
from any beast type animal from whatever culture. For if you're like, no, would he have a, would he have a snow leopard? Sure, why the fuck not? He's a wanderer. He found himself. Oh, how'd I get here?
Like, I feel like, and mostly because my first thought went to Android 16 and Bastion from Overwatch. I feel like a bird is so classic, but I don't know if I want to do a bird because it is too classic. Like,
Right.
but also birds are cool. I like birds.
An owl.
This is a tangent. I had a character. Are we all familiar with the JRPG Earthbound?
Oh yeah.
That Ness is from in Smash Bros. My friend, it was a very short-lived thing, did a TTRPG, an Earthbound TTRPG. It was a really cool system that I liked a lot, but we just didn't finish. Like, we only did like 3 or 4 sessions. My character was the token non-magic user of the party, but I also had an animal companion, so that was very fun. Just thinking of like a Minecraft thing in a more modern day. Like I made my kid a Minecraft kid, and like he had like the creeper sweater that like zips over your face. That was one of my favorite characters that I've ever played. He was like a boy. He was like a wannabe Boy Scout because his mom didn't think being a Boy Scout was safe, so she didn't let him. That is a tangent. I apologize.
No. You're good. You're good. Dagger SRT. Can I just look at it? Okay. So we got our sort of base classes. Let me see. Oh, Kenna, was there one of the two subclasses that sounded good to you?
Yeah, the one that smashes things, duh.
Listen, I don't want to assume. All right. So that, oh, that's the mastery trait. You don't have that yet. The foundational one for that is spellcasting trait is that's your modifier. So your spellcasting modifier is strength. Agility is the spellcasting modifier for the ranger. Okay, that's what it means by spellcasting trait. That's going to be whatever the bonuses we add come from for you. So your foundational one are Wings of Light. You can fly. While flying, you can do the following. Mark a stress to pick up and carry another willing creature approximately your size or smaller. That's pretty cool. Spend a hope to deal an extra 1d8 damage on a successful attack. I'm sure that's going to scale up too as we go on. Okay. So I've got everybody's level up stuff here. All right, then it's going to be assigned character traits. See, I just needed to go there to know what it meant by fucking character traits. Read the book, TJ. So it has the 6, and they took agility for Dex. My Runa RPG designer heart is a little sourpuss about that. Agility, sprint, leap, maneuver. It tells you like what like things you might be able to do. High agility means you're fast on your feet. Strength, lift, smash, grapple. Finesse, control, hide, tinker. So there's a difference between your speed and how well you're kind of dexterous with things. Instinct, that's your wisdom, your kind of general perception, your presence, your charisma, and then your knowledge, your book smarts. Distribute the trait modifiers. Trait modifiers, this is also something that I'm super salty about because it's exactly what we have for the fucking Runa game. But they're not the only people that do this, so I shouldn't be too stressed out about it. But basically, distribute the following starting modifiers across your character's traits in any order you wish. +1, +2, or +2, +1, +1, 0, 0, -1. That's like literally the Runa spread. So I'm a very salty little bitch about that. But when distributing these modifiers, consider what actions you want your character to be good at and what weapon you want to use for your attacks and what kind of spell casting you'll be doing. If any, weapons and spells are covered in future sections, but the character guide for your class offers suggested placement for your modifiers if you want a starting point. If you ever need to refer to your trait modifiers as a value, it says where you can reference them. Record additional character information. Let me see here. Evasion. Your character's evasion reflects how hard it is for adversaries to hit them. That's their armor class, their difficulty class. Let me see. Your class's starting evasion appears right beneath the evasion field on your character sheet. So you're going to have a starting evasion depending on what your class is. When an adversary makes an attack against your character, the GM rolls against their evasion to see if they succeed in hitting you. You can choose how your character's evasion manifests within the narrative. A wizard might avoid blows with shimmering arcane shields, or bat away an adversary's spells, while a ranger nimbly dodges out of the way of attacks and warrior parries, blocks, and dodges. Your character's evasion starts low, but that's because it's not the only means of avoiding damage. If they hit, you'll also have the opportunity to reduce the incoming damage using armor. There's a lot of... I think where you're going to have a lot of fun in this kinda is... I've noticed that if you're given free reign on something, you absolutely destroy my bosses with the characters you create out of them. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with all of the moving pieces that you can kind of be like, but wait, I can this, but wait, I can this, but I actually spend this to change this to up that. And it's not necessarily like I'm sure the numbers will get bigger, no, like without a doubt, but the number crunch might not be as deep, but I feel that the crunch is spread across the mechanics more. Does that make sense? Instead of just in combat?
Is it like more modular?
Yes, and you'll see what I mean by that. It's kind of, it has some like some card game elements. That are kind of like, you have resources that you can get back, and there's like a give and take, and it's very much like you'll see. But yes, yeah, it feels a little modular in that sense. Then you've got hit points. Your character's health and well-being are represented by hit points. We know that, sometimes called HP. Each character starts with a set number of hit points. Stress reflects your ability to withstand the pressures of dangerous situations and mental strain. Every class starts with 6 stress. You can describe your character's hit points and stress any way you wish, but they generally represent your character's ability to get knocked down and keep coming back. You'll mark your character's hit points and stress when these situations arise, and the fewer marks you have, the better. Now, this is important. This is probably what I fucking love almost most about this game, if it's what I think. It's hope and fear. Hope and fear are currencies used by the players and the GM to represent the way fate turns for or against the characters during the game. You start with 2 hope. Mark these in your hope field of your character sheet. We'll probably just, I'll make us little tokens. Or I probably honestly just fucking have them. Anytime you roll with hope on your duality dice, we'll see what that means, meaning your hope die rolled higher than your fear die, you gain a hope to a maximum of 6. During the game, you can spend hope to help your character's allies apply their life experiences to challenges and empower their spells and abilities. It's kind of like a constant fluctuating, almost luck dice, almost inspiration dice, almost hit dice that's always going up and down throughout the session. If you instead roll with fear on your duality dice, meaning your fear die rolled higher than your hope die, and again, we'll get to all this. I'm throwing a lot of fucking terminology around. I keep hitting my old improv troupe bell, sorry. The GM gains a fear that I can spend on certain effects. Sometimes a fear roll introduces other complications into a scene, even if you succeed on your roll. So this is one of those games where you can have a failed roll, but a favorable outcome, or a successful roll, but there's still a negative outcome that kind of precedes. Like, yes, you smashed your sword through the enemy captain, but you swung so hard that you actually cut the ropes on the rope bridge, and now everybody who's not flying or levitating has to roll an agility or whatever fucking save to like catch themselves on the rope or whatever it might be. It's like, it's one of those sort of, the narrative plays into the role, and they've given us a direct mechanic that will influence that. And there's certain ways we can those aren't static numbers either. There's ways we can affect hope and fear, if I'm not mistaken. And we'll get to that. Choosing your starting equipment. Choose weapons, choose armor, blah, blah, blah. You guys fucking get that. Choosing starting items, inventory. Your inventory includes anything else your character is carrying, the top of your character sheet. Oh, so everybody gets the following bullshit, which I think is actually kind of nice. You get a torch, 50 feet of rope, basic supplies including a tent, bedroll, tinderbox, rations, etc., a handful of gold. Put this in your gold field in the left-hand column. Your choice of a minor health potion, clear 1d4 hit points, or a minor stamina potion, clear 1d4 stress. I like that. They've given us kind of like a mana resource. Let me see. And either option of your character guide is specific to your class, so it'll say something in your class of like, you get to do fucking this, or you get to do fucking that. Let's actually see what it says here. Rogue, I was just on Seraph, so we'll look at that. enhancements, primary. Yeah, we'll fucking get to there. Anyway, choose starting items, create your background. Next, explore your character's background by answering the background questions in your character guide. So that's gonna be fucking somewhere. We'll figure that out. But it's, you know how guys, like when we do our session zeros, and I'll be like, I'll send you like, here's 5 questions that I'd love you guys to answer for me to just send. It's pretty much that. It's nothing that anybody at our table is not used to. Create your experiences. In Daggerheart, your character's experiences are one of the core ways you express your backstory and expertise through mechanics. An experience is a word or phrase used to encapsulate a specific set of skills your character has acquired over the course of their exciting life. Oh, you get to build your character out really specifically. Holy cow. Your character starts... Whoops. I just knocked Jeremy shit over. Your character starts with 2 experiences at character creation, each with a +2 modifier, and they'll earn more throughout your adventure. Before creating experiences, you'll want to have a solid idea of your character is. The background questions are especially helpful for this. When you're ready, work with your GM to create 2 experiences you have shaped for your character. There is no set... Oh god, I fucking love this. There is no set list of experiences to choose from, though we offer options for inspiration under experience examples. It might even be on the website. It's probably in the SRD. Or in like the GM tools. Instead, find a word or phrase that embodies something distinctive about your character. Each experience should be specific. For example, talented or focused are too broad, as they can be applied to almost any situation. Instead, you might use swashbuckler, Jeremy, or magic studies. Additionally, your character's experience can't give them spells or specific game abilities. For example, take flight or one-hit kill are too mechanically oriented. You might consider pilot or assassin instead. You are also encouraged to add flavor to your character's experience to give it more varied use in play. For example, instead of just assassin, you could choose Assassin of the Sapphire Syndicate. Details like this give your GM an exciting faction to weave into the campaign and also make it easier to use this experience outside of combat. For example, if your character encounters an ally of the Syndicate, they might be particularly adept at negotiating with that NPC based on their experience. Let me see. Here's some examples that they offer right here. Backgrounds: Assassin, Blacksmith, Bodyguard, Bounty Hunter, Chef to the Royal Family, Circus Performer, Con Artist, Fallen Monarch, Field Medic, High Priestess, Merchant, Noble, Pirate, Politician, Runaway, Scholar, Sellsword, Soldier, Storyteller, Thief, World Traveler. That would be a background option. Characteristics: affable, battle-hardened, da-da-da. Specialties: acrobat, gambler. So there's things that you can like build in throughout the game for this. Skills, things to give yourself: animal whisperer, barter. So the experiences are partial like background, partial feat. Phrases: catch me if you can, fake it till you make it, first time's the charm, hold the line, I won't let you down. Using experiences. When one of your character's experiences fits the situation at hand, you can use that experience to showcase their expertise. Before you make an action or reaction roll, you can spend a hope to add the experience's modifier to the roll's result. Sometimes, more than one of your character's experiences is a good fit for the situation. For example, if your character is trying to sneak past a guard in the dark, your I live in the shadows and stealthy experiences would both apply. If it fits the story, you can add more than one experience modifier to a roll, spending a hope for each. Obviously, those are examples, but I'm sure they will... we're all creative motherfuckers at the table. I'm not too worried about this aspect of the game. I frickin' love it. Your character has the opportunity to gain new experiences as they gain levels. However, if you discover that your character has outgrown a previous experience or it doesn't feel right anymore, you're not stuck with the ones you've already chosen. For example, you might find that your character's stealthy experience no longer matches the head-on way they've learned to solve problems. Or perhaps your group likes to try to solve things diplomatically first, so your character's catch them by surprise experience isn't a good fit for the table's collaborative story. That's totally okay. Work with your GM to find experiences that better align with your storytelling goals and with the actions your characters would be good at. I feel like both Sermia and Mort have had just RP moments like that throughout the campaign. Without me even saying anything. Focus on me, not my microphone. But I feel that that's something that we all have just sort of had organically at the table, but they've put it in here as a mechanic, and I like that. Choose your domain cards. Okay. Kenna, this is where this is Sirmia opening up the treasure box. This is the Veld Grotto actually for you too, Jeremy. You're both theory crafters. Choose your domain cards. Domains are the core building blocks of Daggerheart's classes. The following domains are included in this book: Arcana, Blade, Bone, Codex, Grace, Midnight, Sage, Splendor, and Valor. Each domain has a domain deck. Those are just cards. You can print them all off. Again, each class in Daggerheart is formed by combining two of these domains. For example, the Warrior class comprises Blade and Bone. The Druid comprises Arcana and Sage, and the Rogue comprises Midnight and Grace. And we'll go over what everybody has.
These freaking nerds.
Say what?
These freaking nerds.
I know.
This is Magic Gathering.
Oh, dude, Kenna, you're so on. It's when I read this, I'm like, okay, Taliesin and Matt, I see when you guys were like, no, we have to have this. It's to start, look at your level 1 cards from your 2 class domains. So, let me see. You can take one from each domain, so to start, look at the level 1 card from your class's 2 domains. So, for the Seraph, the Smasher, it is... let me see. The Seraph starts with... My mouth is right in that fucking mic. Sorry, guys. The Winged Sentinel starts with Splendor and Valor. And the Beastbound Ranger starts with Bone and Sage. And we'll go over what those mean, like, literally on the next page. Shared domains. Each class shares its domain with at least one other class. For example, Blade is shared by the Guardian and the Warrior. Sage is shared by the Druid and the Ranger, and Grace is shared by the Bard and the Rogue. If a fellow player's class has the same domain as yours, we encourage you to coordinate with them and choose different cards from that domain deck, even if your group has multiple copies. This way, each player feels distinct and shines when they bring their unique abilities to the story. However, if the GM and players agree, feel free to make an exception. Sharing cards is common when more than one player chooses the same class, or when 3 or more players share the same domain. As always, it comes down to open communication between the players and the GM, which again, our table is very good at. Step 9, create your connections. Again, there's so many things that are baked into where it gives the GM a lot of tools to make the 2 people that we got here in the chat right now, you guys send me like the tastiest morsels of backstory. So like in terms of connections, like this is going to be like, yeah, that's what I fucking do. You've almost finished creating your character. Now it's time to forge the connections. These represent the relationships and personal history between your character and the fellow party members. Once your group is comfortable with their finished or almost finished PCs, summarize your characters for each other. At minimum, share their name, pronouns, character description, experiences, and answers to the background questions. But feel free to include any details you'd like the other players to know. Then work together to decide how your characters are connected and how they feel about each other. The connections section of your character guide provides inspiration. We recommend you pick at least one question to ask another player for their character to answer, but you're welcome to create new questions. You can always turn down a question or a relationship suggested by another player if it's not a good fit for your relationship you're interested in exploring. While it's great to create connections with every character, it's perfectly okay if you're not sure about some of them yet. This is the same thing that when I start the campaign and I'm like, I need you guys to have one positive connection with one other person at the table, whatever it might be. Next, in the book, it does give an example character. They're on the website. They've got a hole in the the starting adventure section, like the quick start adventure. They've got pre-made characters. There's all the pre-made characters that they have in this book, I think, are the ones they use in the quick start adventure, because the quick start adventure is in this book. But the quick start one is a sorcerer. They're a frog. But here are the domains. So I'll go over kind of like the kind of pitch sentence, but I'll read specifically the 4 that are tied to your guys's classes. Domains. Let me see. There's Arcana. Arcana is the domain of innate and instinctual magic. Those who choose the path tap into raw, enigmatic forces of the realm to manipulate both their energy and the elements. Blade is the domain of weapon mastery. Whether by steel bow or perhaps a more specialized arm, those who follow this path have the skill to cut short the lives of others. Bone. This is one of the druid ones. Bone is the domain of tactics and the body. Practitioners of this domain have an uncanny control over their own physical abilities and an eye for predicting the behaviors of others in combat. Adherents to bone gain an unparalleled understanding of bodies and their movements. There's Codex, is the domain of intense magical study. Those who seek magical knowledge turn to the equations of power recorded in books, written on scrolls, etched on walls, or tattooed on bodies. Grace. Grace is the domain of charisma. Through rapturous storytelling, charming spells, or a shroud of lies, those who channel this power define the realities of their adversaries. Midnight is the domain of shadows and secrecy. Whether by clever tricks, deft magic, or the cloak of night, those who channel these forces practice the art of obscurity. Here is Sage. This is the other druid one with the tied to the Beastmaster. It's the domain of the natural world. Those who walk this path tap into the unfettered power of the earth and its creatures to unleash raw magic. Sage grants its adherents the vitality of a blooming flower and the ferocity of a ravenous predator. And then, Kenna, your two are literally the last two. Sorry you had to wait so long. Splendor is the domain of life. Through this magic, followers gain the ability to heal and, to an extent, control over death. Splendor offers its disciples the magnificent ability to both give and end life. Valor. Valor is the domain of protection. Whether through an attack or defense, those who choose this discipline channel formidable strength to protect their allies in battle. Valor offers great power to those who raise their shields in defense of others. I got the chills a little bit. In the book, it just teaches you how to read the domain cards. So actually, I can actually show this one thing off that I really like. We're going to go to resources. We're going to go to the card creator. This is so cool. Yeah, sure. Step the fucking tour. Next, click on a template. Next. Okay, I fucking get it. Yeah, create. Okay, great. Yep, thank you. Next. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. Okay, got it. Oh my god. It's actually helpful if you've never used one of these before, but I've been working on so many games that I'm designing in other things that I'm like, yep, okay, yep, this goes here, got it. So let's just go, this is going to be base card, let's go to domain. You can click on this. This is literally on the website. It's in the card maker under resources. So let's just go to Splendor. And it doesn't have, if I want to do classes, I would go to the subclasses. But right now I'm going to go to the domain card so we can see what it says, and I'll pick Sirmia's level 1 Bolt Beacon, one of the level 1 options. It is a spell, and it has a few things here, and we can all look at this together. Let me see here. 1. Level. The number in the top left of the card indicates the card level. You can only choose domain cards of your level or lower. You guys have noticed there might only be 3 level 1 options right here. That's why this is the card creator. If I want to make another level 1 one, I just go to create, and I can change whatever I fucking want on here. I can choose, look, if I choose Sage, it's going to change. Oh my god. I didn't play around with this one earlier. Oh, fuck, that's so good. You can literally customize everything. But we're just going to go right to Bolt Beacon. Holy.
Are domains like
so
spells?
Domains are spells and class abilities. Do you remember when we played Runa and you, like, Odin had access to, like, Squall arts and Mastery arts? That's kind of like gaining access to Blade domain and Valor domain. So depending on, that's how they have kind of, and if you pick a subclass, you gain access to different domains, or like a multi-class. If you multi-class, you can now kind of scoop minorly from other domains, and it'll get into that. And yes, they are spells, and we'll see, because I'll click on Valor next, and you're going to see they're not necessarily spells. They're abilities that can be used too. I'm so, from a game mechanic standpoint, it seems like a lot at first, but then the pieces really come together at one point, and you realize within the sort of like surface level simplicity, there's so many. It's like a chessboard where you can just like shoop, and really customize your character in a really fun way. Plus, we can just transfer any fucking spells we want that we don't like. But let's just look at this. Bolt Beacon. Make a spell, let me read how this works. Domain. Beneath the card's level is a symbol indicating its domain. That's this thing right here. That's the, what is this, the Splendor? I'm still learning these myself. Splendor. Then there's the recall cost. That's this little thing over here. Again, like you said, kind of huge fucking nerds. This is when I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Can someone call Magic the Gathering and let them know that their cards got out? Recall cost. The number and lightning bolt in the top right of the card shows its recall cost. This doesn't affect you at character creation, but once you reach level 5, you'll have more cards than space in your loadout. Your set 5 active cards. Nerds. See the loadout vault section on page 101. We'll get there. You can normally only move an inactive card from your vault to your loadout during downtime, but you can mark a number of stress equal to a card's recall cost. Swap it immediately. So if you're like, fuck, I only... We'll get to Valor. I think it might be easier. Or even for a healer, if you're like, oh no, I didn't take Healing Hands, but right now, I fucking need Healing Hands. So you kind of like rip into your hit dice to like pull that spell out from like your heroic focus to like, and you do something fun. And again, it all plays into the narrative of it, and we'll see kind of how even in combat that works. Ding. Let me see. The card's type is listed in the center, so this one says spell. There are 3 types of domain cards: abilities, spells, and grimoires. Abilities are typically mundane in nature. Spells are magical. Grimoires are unique to the Codex domain and are a collection of smaller spells bundled together, which is how they make wizards feel special. And sorcerers, some sorcerers to an extent. I think one of the bard subclasses might get a minor Codex option, if I'm not mistaken. Feature. The text, then, that's just what it does. So, make a successful roll against a target within far range. They don't deal with numbers. They deal with, like, kind of narrative ranges. There's melee, near, far, extreme, and, like, distant. And then there's something that's, like far, but you can still see it, but you can't, like, like, 600 feet away. Like, yeah, you can see the dragon flying a mile out, but it's, you got 5 minutes before it gets here. But then it tells you just like what it fucking does. But so to kind of see maybe something a little more. So here we go. And this is Valor. These would be like your 3 options, Sirmia at level 1. And all 3 are abilities. So that's kind of cool. So at level 1 Sirmia, you could pick 2 Splendor abilities, 2 Valor abilities. And I'm just saying Sirmia if you want to switch out fucking anything at any point, I don't care. But I'm sure, especially for you, Kenny, you're kind of seeing. I guess I'm sorry. You want the big smashy. So you chose this. I'm sorry. I'm backtracking. I'm talking out of my ass. So the way that it works is with your subclass, you got those options to 2 domains. At level 1, you get to pick two domain cards. They can be both from the same domain, or 1 from each of the domains available to you to your class. So if you wanted Sirmia rolling out with a healing spell, a blast spell, or there's an ability for the Seraphs at level 1 that is Reassurance. Once per rest, an ally attempts an action, you can offer assistance. It's basically guidance. And it's once per any rest. When you do, your ally can reroll. Oh, so it's actually a luck dice. It's actually pretty good. Mending Touch is a heal. Bolt Beacon is a shot. And then if we... I just tried to scroll on the OBS screen. But if we go to Valor, and like Warriors will get this too, so you'd get Bare Bones. And you can see they level up. Forceful Push or I Am Your Shield. So like you could choose not to equip armor and have a base armor score of 3 plus your strength. That might not be for Seraph, but it might be. Forceful Push, you can make an attack and just kind of like pop somebody. What does it say for additionally? You can spend a hope to make them vulnerable. Ooh, that's kind of. I bet that's kind of like the what is it? In Baldur's Gate when you can do like a bonus sword headbutt. Or you could do I Am Your Shield. When an ally within very close range would take damage, you can mark a stress to stand in the way and make yourself the target, which, if you have an higher AC, obviously would be helpful. And these are all pretty cheap spells. So like Mort, not Mort, but our buddy, our buddy boy. Well, let's look at Bone first, because I'm pretty sure there is not a single spell in Bone. So there's Deft Maneuvers. You can sprint anywhere within range without making an agility roll to get there. It's kind of like a bonus action dash. Yes, that is a combat wheelchair. You can see it coming. When you're targeted by an attack made from beyond melee, you can mark a stress to roll a d4. So it basically gives you like a kind of dodge bonus to your AC as a reaction. Oh, and you can only use these at certain points. That's why it's not untouchable. And then, it's so funny I said untouchable. You can get a bonus to your evasion equal to half your agility. Oh, that's pretty good. That'd be a good one for a ranger, especially if you're up close. But for Sage, you can imagine... It's actually funny. You guys... Each one that you guys picked has like a purely physical domain and a mostly magical domain. So for Sage, there's Gifted Tracker. It's an ability. It's probably the one I'd pick just as a person. When you're tracking a specific creature or group, based on the signs of their passage, you can spend any number of hope and gain and ask the GM that many questions from the following list. What direction did they go?
Asking questions.
Oh, dude, this is so great. You can spend up to 4 hope and ask the next 4 questions. What direction did they go? How long ago did they pass through? What were they doing in this location? And how many of them were there? That makes Rangers... I love how they blend mechanics and narrative in this game. I'm just going to be fucking repeating myself. When you encounter creatures you've tracked in this way, gain a +1 bonus to your invasion against them. Wow, so it's also a +1 AC against whatever you're tracking. Which makes sense. You also get Nature's Tongue. That's an ability. So you can speak the language of the natural world. Oh, yes. They didn't make it a spell. You can just talk to the natural world. When you can speak to the plants and animals around you, you make an instinct roll. On a success, they'll give you the information they know. On a roll with fear, their knowledge might be limited. So there's things that can affect it, but that's pretty cool. Additionally, before you make a specialist roll, that's something that we'll eventually get to, you can spend a hope to gain a +1 bonus on the roll. And then what's the last one? Vicious Entangling Vines. Make a spellcasting roll against a target within far range, so far range or closer. On a success, you basically pin them down and do some damage. It's great, good old, everybody loves it. Long-time Dadvocate listener, first-time TJ watcher, is this system a D&D system you created? I wish it was, and I've actually said this a few times. This is the Daggerheart system by the people who do the Critical Role show. It is their... they built it about a year or so ago, and me and some of my folks that we play on our normal like TTRPG streams, we're wanting to crack this open and look at it. So we're not playing any games tonight, but we are looking at this system just for reference. What does it say? Sugo. The website that I'm on right now is the Daggerheart website, and all this stuff is free. This is under their card creator. I'm just pulling up a reference for the cards for people to look at for stuff. But we're kind of building out some mock classes, me and the other people in the party, and we've got it feels very D&D adjacent, but we're trying to find... From my at least cursory glancing through this book, it looks like while the numbers might not get as deep as they do in D&D, like as large, there's a wider crunch across all mechanics, and they all kind of interlock within each other in a fun way that you can customize. Plus, if there's a spell that you don't have, you can just make it on this website. It's pretty fucking cool. But we just got started, so thanks for not just, but we got started about an hour and a half ago. But
So are the decks that come with the game, are they all domain decks?
They're all domain decks, but there's also they also have the race and background, or the ancestry, and
okay.
Yeah, so those are in there too. Everything that's like there, because I could even pull them up on the card maker. All the ancestry cards are here, and that's exactly what it'll look like in the box that you got, kind of the Clank card.
This just makes me want to open up the cards and just flip through each card.
That's what I did. So finally, sorry guys, moving on to classes. This section details each of Daggerheart's classes. We can choose a class granting on the following. Your chosen class grants the following. Each class lists 2 domains. They get starting evasion. They have an amount of starting hit points, blah, blah, blah. They get starting items, everything. Your chosen subclass grants a bunch of other shit. We're not looking at Bard. Let's get right to Seraph and Ranger. Ranger. Rangers are highly skilled hunters who, despite their martial abilities, rarely lend their skills to an army. Through mastery of the body and a deep understanding of the wilderness, Rangers become sly tacticians, pursuing their quarry with cunning and patience. Many Rangers track and fight alongside an animal companion with whom they forged a powerful spiritual bond. By honing their skills in the wild, Rangers become expert trackers, as likely to ensnare their foes in a trap as they are to assail them head-on. So they got Bone and Sage. Those are the starting Ranger domains. You get 6 hit points to start with. You just get the hit points, and those will go up as we talk. But class items, you get a trophy from your first kill and a seemingly broken compass. But as we've discovered, narrative plays a lot in this. So let's see, community, subclass. Here we go, Beastbound, and you can actually see all of the levels of stuff. Oh, and it's got all the things I picked up here. They really did a great job on this website. Holy shit. Let me see. Class feature, Ranger's Focus. Spend a hope and make an attack against a target. On a success, deal your attack's normal damage and temporarily make the attack's target your focus, so the creature becomes your focus. Until this feature ends, or you make a different creature your focus, you gain the following benefits against them. You know precisely what direction they are in. When you deal damage to them, they must mark a stress. Oh, shit. When you fail an attack against them, you can end your Ranger's Focus feature to re-roll your duality dice. I know you don't know what duality dice yet is, guys. That's so fucking broken. And so for Beastbound, we went over everything. Eventually, so I guess I'll go through what your guys will also get to do eventually. So Jeremy, your starting one foundation or thing would be getting the companion. Then once you get up to a certain level, you gain a specialization. You choose an additional level up option for your companion, and you get battle bonded. When an adversary attacks you while they're within your companion's melee range, you gain a +2 bonus to your evasion because your tiger's gonna swipe at them. And then Mastery, Advanced Training, you get to pick 2 additional level up options. Holy cow. And you gain Loyal Friend. Once per long rest, when the damage from an attack would mark your companion's last stress or your last hit point, and you're within close range of each other, you or your companion can rush to the other side and take that damage instead. Oh, it's kind of like Ron and Mare's, nope, I'll take it, absorption sort of thing. Let me see. And then... Yep, and then it goes into building your companion, naming them, write their evasion. They start at 10. Choose their experience. Again, common experiences, bold distraction, expert climber, fetch, friendly. These could all be, what could it be? Fetch. As a reaction, I can send them out within, like, medium range to pick something that's dropped. Cool, yeah, great. That's something that I absolutely consider an experience for something that would arguably be able to fetch. Choose their attack and record damage dice. Finally, describe your companion's method of dealing attack. Their standard attack, I think it says it in the back of the book or something. Working with them, it talks about spells. Taking damage is stress. When your companion would take an amount of damage, they mark as stress. So they just have like a number of stress. Leveling them up, your companion gains a permanent +1 bonus to a companion experience of your choice. Oh, they're intelligent. Oh, when your character levels up, choose one available option. So they have the companion levels up. So you can make them intelligent. Just adding a +1 to one of their experiences just makes it better. Light in the dark, they get an additional hope slot your character can mark. Oh, that's cool. Creature comfort, once per rest, you take time during a quiet moment to give your companion love and attention. You gain a hope. Oh, that's cool. Or you can help clear stress. Armored, your companion takes damage. You can mark one of your armor slots. Ooh. Vicious. Wow, they did a really good job of... You know what? And this is one of those things in the original, in the very first, The Legend of Vox Machina, the first Critical Role campaign, Laura Bailey, she played a ranger, and she had a bear named Trinket, and they had a very difficult time, like, at the start of... Not start, but kind of like in the middle levels of the campaign, keeping the animal kind of, what would you call it, relevant. for all intents and purposes. They were like, well, what do we do here? You know, they're kind of leveled out of him, and they've really incorporated this ranger shines with their animal, as you should if you have an animal companion. And there's a whole little sub sheet. It's on the website too, for free. But they've got a little sheet in the book for ranger companions. And then we'll get the rogue out of here. Here we go with the seraph. I keep knocking shit down. This is not as high octane as the Dadvocate streams for those who are watching from her, but there's not the usual TJ rant. Join us for our live plays normally on Sundays, but also tomorrow, specifically the 19th of November, because I'll probably have a rant when probably the bard shits all over my plans. I say that with all the love in the world.
Do anything yet?
She just has to walk into a room, and every vampire is kind of like.
Yeah, I got a plus 37 to that.
Yeah. Seraphs are divine fighters and healers imbued with sacred purpose. A divine array of deities exists within the realms, and numerous kinds of seraphs are appointed by these gods. Their ethos traditionally aligns with the domain or goals of their gods, such as defending the weak, exacting vengeance, protecting a land or artifact, or upholding a particular faith. Some seraphs ally themselves with an army or locale, much to the satisfaction of their rulers, but other crusaders fight in opposition to the follies of the mortal realm. It is better to be a seraph's ally than their enemy, as they are terrifying foes to those who defy their purpose. Get Splendor and Valor. Your starting evasion starts at 9. Your starting hit points start at 7. Your class items are a bundle of offerings or a sigil of your god. Your Hope feature is Life Support. Spend 3 Hope to clear a hit point on an ally within close range. Class feature, Prayer Dice. At the beginning of each session, roll a number of d4s equal to your subclass's spell cast trait. So for you, it's Strength. So if your Strength was like plus 3, you'd get to roll 3 d4s. These are your Prayer Dice. You can spend any number of Prayer Dice to aid yourself or an ally within far range. That's at the beginning of each session. That's pretty cool. So actually, in your games, having more than one thing to keep track of gets to be a challenge. So that's what's cool about this website that I'm on actually for Daggerheart is literally, they have literally everything. Everything is there for reference. They did not, everything in the base game for free available on their website. It's chef's kiss.
For free.
For free. We went through the subclasses, but like we said, you start with Spiritual Weapon. You also gain Sparing Touch. Once per long rest, touch a creature and clear 2 hit points or 2 stress from them. That's super useful, as we're starting to learn stress is probably going to be pretty debilitating. Specialization feature, Devout. This is like kind of the next kind of like tier of your subclass. When you roll your prayer dice, you can roll an additional die and discard the lowest result. Additionally, you can choose your Sparing Touch feature twice instead of once per long rest. Sacred Resonance at Mastery. When you roll damage for your Spirit Weapon feature, if any of the die results match, double the value of each matching die. Oh, actually, I can do this. Ha 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 ha. I'm so sorry, everyone. I could have been doing it right here on the screen the whole fucking time. Strength. And then if I go to Specialization, there's Ethereal Visage. Your super... Okay, so this is the... Oh, that's Divine Wielder. You wanted Winged Sentinel. I'm so sorry. I read off the wrong ones.
Well, no, Divine Wielder is, I think, makes more sense. Right?
You think so? So instead of the wings, the Sacred Weapon. You could probably get an item that maybe grants wings at a higher level.
Oh, okay. I'm just tired. Oh, sorry. Annie came in and I forgot to mute. My bad.
No problem. I just wanted to make sure you're doing okay.
Oh, I'm good. Sorry.
So are you... I guess we can look at both and you can kind of decide, because they kind of took what we have as a Sirmia and have kind of mushed it or split it into 2. They're both strength for their spellcasting modifier, which is nice.
Yeah, I feel like I could just multi-class there.
Honestly, you could probably multi-class to get around it.
But we're just, like, I'm definitely going to take a look now, and this is just theory craft. I probably would make different characters if we ended up doing anything with Daggerheart.
I think I'm going to probably, like, around Christmas time, run a one-shot. Perfect music timing.
Yes. I'm crashing.
It's okay. If you're crashing, you're good.
Yeah, I think I gotta get off because I have work again at 7:30.
Not a problem.
I'm
I'm
also
just gonna keep
crashing.
going through this. You said you're crashing too, Jeremy?
Yeah, so I wake up at like 6:30 basically every day now.
No, for sure. Not a problem.
But thank you. Like, I think I have a much better vibe on the system now, so I'm pretty excited.
And
to
so I
dig
guess
into it.
real quick, before you go, before we end this and I kind of dive more into my DM end of things, I want to go over what this hope and fear, not hope, but like what this fear and bad dice is. So basically, every time there is no initiative. Let me just start with that so I can blow your guys' fucking mind before you leave. There is no initiative. It's all storytelling. So it might be Sermia's like, I run and I smash them in the face. Cool. You kind of get the spotlight at that point, and you can do what you think is like a reasonable amount of stuff to do. And like people can rein in, and the DM might be like, that's too much. But you kind of look at what you have available. You look at the resources you have available to you, and you do what you can within that time. And then you at the table go, like, what would be next? But every time you do something, every time you attempt to do a skill check, every time you try to do an attack, every time you try to persuade, you make a roll with a d12. You get to add bonuses, but there might be some penalties working against you. That's where things like stress come in. There's 2 d12s rolled every time. One is a good one, one is a bad one. If the outcome of the good d12 is higher than the outcome of the bad d12, you succeed with the favorable outcome. If you succeed on whatever you're trying to do, but on the 2d12 you roll higher on the bad d12 than you do on the good d12, you might still succeed, but something bad happens, or I get to attack. And I've got a whole amount of things that I can do. I can choose to attack. I can choose to make an environmental thing. So it's a narrative trade-off, and the more shit you guys choose to do, the more shit I as a DM get to kind of have the environment or the enemies interact with you. And so every time you attack an enemy, I get a chance to attack you back or use an enemy action. And so there's no initiative order per se. It's kind of all vibes based. So it's kind of like, you could be like, okay, and after Sermia comes in and swings, and there might be an exchange of rolls between me and Sermia, tang, 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 then it might be like, that's all that I can do. I'm gonna like reach out and go like, Mort, help me, and now everybody's like, yes, that's exactly who should go next. And then it's just sort of like agreed, shared narrative at the table, who gets to go next in the hero's order, and I just get to react based off the dice rolls as a dungeon master, how the narrative plays out. It's a lot of fun. Say what?
The reactions is kind of like a skeleton of initiative.
Exactly.
Like,
there's
whoever chooses to go, the DM goes right after either way.
Yep. And that's the thing is, I get to go, but the thing might be, I get to go with you guys having a favorable outcome. So you might be like, so maybe you roll great. Let's use that rope bridge example from earlier. Is let's say you roll and you succeed on the hit, and you get a positive outcome. So it's one of those things where it's a fate dice. That's what they're called. It's a fate dice. And so you swing, and maybe it only snaps the part that the enemies are on, and I just kind of auto let every one of the heroes succeed. Or I toss a penalty on all of the enemies and toss a bonus on all of you guys getting to roll to like succeed on all things that might play out, and it's all just sort of like oh no, oh this, oh god, and it's sort of like literally every action has a reaction. And this is where you and I were kind of talking kind of the one night that you brought it in, to where a big part of why I can understand people being hesitant is if you have an adversarial dungeon master, this is not the game for you. Like, you guys know me. I kind of had to put off you running into that fucking cockroach, because I'm like, once Kenna sees that thing, he has 2 rounds tops. Like, he's not gonna stick around after she sees that thing. She's so pissed, dude. They're gonna come in and just be like, I smite again. And it's like, she's gonna go full nuclear on his ass. So it's one of those things where it's like, I'm there to tell the story, and this is one of those systems where if we're all there to have fun, I think the guys who are there for the storytelling and the guys who are there for the crunchiness are going to find it in different ways, and we'll definitely dive into this more at some point. But yeah, I think with all that foundational stuff, I'm sure you'll be able to rip all those cards open and just nerd out like hell, and think about different things you can do. I haven't even checked the forums and community to see what like homebrew stuff people have made yet. But anyway, thanks for joining, guys. Thanks for going through that very long-winded explanation of the start of Daggerheart. And then, like I said, probably in about a month and a half, I'm gonna have a one-shot set up for one of our days. It'll either be streamed or we might just record it and I'll post it afterwards.
Okay.
But thanks.
I'm definitely going on their website at work tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And just like going through the cards.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, if you go, were you on the website, Kenna?
I'm just listening and I'm looking at your screen. I'm like,
oh, perfect. Like, oh, so you saw where I went. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you know where to go. Cool. All right, awesome. So I wanted to make sure. Awesome, guys. Well, I'll talk to you. I'll see some of you tomorrow, either digitally or not. And then get some rest, please. I'm still riding high off of my ADHD medication wearing off, so all of the ADHD energy has flooded into my brain in the last 45 minutes. So I'm
you
gonna
also have coffee at
zoomies.
like 9 o'clock.
Your pre-bedtime zoomies.
My pre-bedtime zoomies. I'm gonna probably crank out some artwork and stories for about 2.5 hours, and then just sleep like a baby until 6 a.m.
Hell yeah.
All right,
Anyway, it was fun. This was kind of fun. I would love actually if we kind of did this like once a month or something. Next time, I want to talk about Lancer, the Evangelion-inspired space mech opera.
Oh shit.
Oh, dude, it's so cool. I can't wait to show you this fucking book. There's, just to give you guys, like, where's the fuck, like, this is, it's literally, like, these are mechs, and they've all got specs, and there's different, like, components that you can, like, I'm gonna go get a core level 2 blankety blank of this, and it's all, oh, dude, and his website's got, like, nerdy updates all the time. It's so cool. I can't wait to dive in.
For me, this is exactly what I did as a kid. I made Ben 10 aliens, and I gave them stats.
Yep. I cannot wait to dive into this. I think it's going to be kind of like that. It's going to be kind of like a build your own Gundam. Oh, yeah, anyway. Get some rest, guys. I'll see you.
Okay, good night.
Good night. Ciao.
Bye.